Hey, I'm Sebastian,
Hi, I'm Juan.
and today we're digging down on B2B content and the relevant touch points to address if you want to succeed in this 2023 with your content strategy. Buckle up.
How do you optimize your customer's journey, drive demand, reduce churn rate, increase retention, and generate growth? Are some of the questions marketers continuously ask.
Welcome to the Customer XP Crew Weekly Podcast, where we discuss marketing strategies, tactics, ideas, experiences, invite guests and experts to help you with your marketing growth by being customer-centric. And now to this episode.
What's up, guys? It's awesome to have you today again on a new episode of the Customer XP Crew, your weekly podcast about everything customer centric. Today, we're discussing a vital subject for marketers, and it is the B2B content. Did you know buyers hate B2B content? Neither did we. That's why we're finding out today the answer right now. And in what we call B2B content is doomed as we know it. And I'm joined today by industry expert and marketing director Juan Gomez. Juan, thank you for being here. How's everything?
Hi, Sebastian. How you doing? I am doing
Great.
great. Right here, just babbling about the subject, B2B content. Yes, I think it's quite a spin-off, and there's much to be learned from B2C tactics and how do we generate, obviously, content that really kind of incentivates B2B buyers into become and take that decision and become a purchase and conversion and really engage with content that is valuable. I think one of the most important things, if you're going to take anything away today, would be creating content that helps. It's what it's going to make a really an impact. And the other thing that it's really going to make a huge amount of damage and really create an impact as well is thought leadership.
Absolutely. Um, One of the things that I was thinking a lot is like what what are the things that have been going on that lead people to think that B2B content is terminating. I want to emphasize that it's not literally going to die, but maybe the way that it's being perceived, because remember we're living in a digital era. Everything is going so fast. There's been a lot of breakthroughs with AI technology and the rise of vertical video too. So I think that maybe when people discuss about okay, B2B content is getting a little bit boring, maybe it's the way that it's being put out. However, I do not think that B2B needs to replicate what B2C does, because the intent is totally different. So I think that would be a huge mistake, like just trying to straight up trying to copy or replicate all of the B2C tactics. And I know that on the surface, B2C is way more attractive. Like maybe you can come up faster with crazy ideas, stories, working with celebrities, TikToks, the latest trends on BuzzFeed, on Reddit, etc. But please keep in mind that B2B content is way more thought out. It's more specialized, it's more niche. That's why it takes more work and more effort to get it done.
I mean, you nailed it right on the head. I think there's no better description. The only thing for me to add is not about replicating, but taking probably the best lessons or some of the best things and practices from there and make it your own for B2B. So it's a more of a adaptation. But we should really focus on why is it being called obsolete? Why it's doomsday with B2B content? And one of the things that really happens is that there's a shift in buyer behavior. Like before, you will see people, and you have a sales force that will go knocking door on door, business to business, and will try to do presentations. If we go a couple of years um, back, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, this were one of the things that people used to do to become a large organization. And you have a like a big sales force that will go out on the field and do field work to bring new leads, knock down on doors, visit these people, try to get them into different territories and trying to conquer that territory. When it was conquered, then you move that sales force to another territory and continue and rinse and repeat. Obviously, that has shifted with the internet, but nonetheless, B2B sales has to do a lot with the content you provide nowadays, because now you have consumers engaging in different professional networks such as LinkedIn, where you see relevant topics to your industry, to your profession, and there are tools and content that will be of great help to you. So let's talk about how this is shifting buyer behavior. So consumers nowadays, they want to, especially B2B consumers and B2C consumers as well, they like to research a little bit more. But B2B buyers, consumers, they do a lot more research than B2C clients, because normally these are decisions for the organization. Pretty much your job will be on the line if they if they make a wrong decision or a wrong investment. So they tend to take their research seriously, and that's where content comes into play. So
Yes.
they really want to see more like case studies or white papers or blogs with wealth of information that it can kind of win them over. Then they'll have a talk amongst the group or their department, and if this becomes relevant, obviously this comes to a decision, and it becomes a purchase. But remember, the purchase doesn't happen just from the decision maker. The decision maker, it's also supported by the people that work with him. So for example, let's say you, Sebastian, come up, you encounter an article of something about marketing, a marketing tool that we might be looking into, or that will help us with a project with one of our customers. So I didn't come up with it, but you raised that awareness to me, and then I do my research, my due diligence, and then like, oh, okay, this sounds good. So then I go and contact those people, and then it becomes a purchase. That on a simple version or storyline. But as you saw in this example, what happened here was, okay, Sebastian came about this article. He thought it was good. So he was the one that generated that awareness. It wasn't me as a decision maker. Now, Sebastian comes and tells me about this. He sends me the link, or he sends me the information for me to find out more about it. I'm gonna be researching that company's blog, content, um, probably social media channels, um, their LinkedIn or whatever it is, that where I can grasp more information before making a contact, and probably read some of those white papers and case studies that they may have. And if there's a demo, I might try the demo, and then I will probably be spinning off into their sales process now, because once I have a demo in place, then they might contact me or I might contact them. But again, it all starts from creating content that is relevant not only to the decision maker, but the people around the decision maker.
Exactly. And I believe that this that you mentioned is huge, because I was just thinking this is one of the stages where technical copywriting comes in and plays a huge role, because I think that one of the biggest mistakes that B2B content is making is like the content isn't being written thinking about the readers. So what do I mean by that? Content is getting too general, too on the surface level. And like a few years ago when SEO became a huge thing, a huge game changer, like you will go and design a keyword strategy and start incorporating those keywords into your blog writing, into your writing, and start ranking. So what? But then at some point, like you could rank on the number one page on Google, and just like the next day, or sometimes at the very end of the day, you were like 20 spots below, and it's because people started to become obsessed with the ranking and the competition. And I think it's got too saturated. Like it's so much like it cannot be just about, okay, let's compete for this set of keywords because there are other 20,000 competitors out there. So it's still very relevant and important, but you cannot neglect your readers. And this is very interesting because I love how in every episode we always circle around the customer, because in reality you always have to, everything that you put out there, that you put online, you have to think on your customer and on your readers. And what you were saying with the example, it's absolutely true, especially important decisions are not taken like just in a rush in a second. And these people, they know they know their thing, and they're just not gonna fall for some genetic short blog that they find. They want to find real, what they call real value, and I think that's like the big important mistake that's happening. Like it became too generic because they got obsessed with the structure and the game and the rules that you have to put in the structure of your blog writing, and they started to neglect the customers.
That's right. The other thing that we have to have is, based on what you just said, is lack of personalization. So
Exactly.
that
Yes.
is a big pitfall that you will see across B2B marketing. It is that the content, it's not specified for that niche, for those group of people, and it's, like you said, it's too generic. So
Yeah.
mm, as B2B marketers, we have to create content that it's personalized, that it's at least really thought out for that specific group. Like create different marketing personas that really are embedded within that target market, which you're going to be using in order to create, as an inspiration, you're going to create the content for. Because if not, then pretty much you're talking to everybody, and then by talking to everybody, you're talking to no one. So um, at the end of the day, you have to create a content strategy on B2B that really specifies and becomes narrowly focused on the different marketing personas that you're going to be wanting as a client. So you have to create those ICPs, those ideal client profiles, and really understand what are their needs, what are their wants, what are their difficulties, what are their pain points, and how can you really create content around that. And the easiest way to give value is to help create valuable content. It's creating content that is actionable, that is helpful, and that it really creates an impact for whoever is reading it. So hopefully all of our episodes as well comply with that. Obviously we do them and we record them, but we have no script, and we pretty much just
Yeah.
have some bullet points and we go
Yes.
as topics arise. But nonetheless, the what we want to try to do at the end of the day, in our focus for our ICP, or ideal client profiles, and our audience, is to help them. At the end of the day, that's what we want to do, and that's what makes a difference. Help.
Yes, and that was my next point, which is sometimes people start failing in transmitting their core message. And what do I mean by that? Every piece of content that you create and that you put out there, you need to cater to channel the core message of your brand. Like you just cannot, oh, okay, I think my readers are going to find this useful because it's useful information. No, everything needs to be designed with an intent. So in past episodes, we talk about community building, brand authority, brand personalization. So everything it's like I don't know how to say. I mean, it's like something that is integral,
Yeah.
like that is holistic, and I'm not trying to brag, but I really do think that in all of our episodes, if you take a look, it always comes down to being customer centric, and this is just an example, but it's the good example that all of your content needs to transmit or cater to your brand's core message.
Yeah, I think catering to your audience, it's key, as you mentioned. But let's take it a little bit further. And what we really want to find out here is, and have in our minds, on the top of the mind, is at the end of the day, we're humans, not just because I am a marketing director or because he's the vice president of sales or he's a neurosurgeon or whatever it is. We are not humans. Obviously, we are all humans. So at the end of the day, what we base our decisions and everything that we want, even if it's a B2B decision or a B2C decision across our marketing, it's about our experience as a customer. So that's why we always say you have to be customer centric, and it's because you want to provide the best experience possible, from even from the awareness stage all the way down to the decision phase. And once you become a customer, also you have to provide a wealth of valuable experiences in order for that customer to really be that loyal customer that you want, and have them happy because they'll bring you more customers. They will be longer with you, and obviously you will make, as a company, as an end result, you will make more money because the lifetime value of that customer is gonna increase. With advocacy, they're gonna bring you more clients and they're gonna be a raving fan and all that kind of stuff. But again, my point here is the experience. You have to create a really good experience, even from the awareness stage, with information that it's valuable to that ideal client profile, to that ICP, to that target audience, where you want to communicate helpful content that, I know you mentioned in terms, and another, on the other day that we were talking, you mentioned vertical videos are becoming a lot more useful. So about also thought leaders and taking that leadership and creating personal branding for them, because at the end of the day, it's also going to create branding for the company that they work for, or that they represent. So it's all about just being a little bit different, seeing what works, and if there's a gap, like for example, there's other thought leaders that have used videos on LinkedIn to really become a staple right now in the industry or the vertical that they represent. And they post these videos, and then they make short fragments of that content and put it in different channels to bring them to the long content. They might have also blog posts with a lot more information. So by doing all this, they create a marketing engine that drives influence. It provides help, and people, when they're educated and they feel that the information they're getting is of value and it helps them, it tends to reciprocate with them asking for help, because it's like, okay, you're the one knowledgeable on this. You gave me this knowledge. It got me this far, but now I need your help. And that's where
Abs-
you're gonna reap in with a lot of new leads. And obviously, this is not gonna be something that's gonna happen. You start today and tomorrow you're gonna see results. It's something that you have to work consistently. And I really have to come across and tell you bluntly that there's nothing in terms of marketing that it's like a switch. Like you will turn this baby on and it will and you have a like a full load of qualified leads. No, it doesn't happen like that. It's like going to the gym. And I always make this analogy because it's like going to the gym. You have to put the effort, you have to be consistent, and you have to always optimize and become better. So you want to lift more weight so you build a bigger muscle, but you also have to be going continuously, hopefully every day or at least 3 times a week in order for you to start getting results in. So it's about frequency, repetition, consistency, and value.
Exactly. That's why we say a lot, and because it's really really true, and we need to constantly remind people of this, and is that consistency is key, and that applies for a lot of things in life. Sometimes when we don't see immediate results, we tend to give up or pivot to another extremely different strategy. Now, you need to be consistent to be able to see results. Sometimes people, I think that they might get a little bit afraid of providing too much help because they think, oh, so why are these people going to hire me if I already help them a lot? No, it's because they want you. They just don't want that piece of information that you offer or that you gave away for free. They want you because of the experience that you crafted for them, because you touch every pain point or every touch points of the remember we talk about customer journey. So every stage, when it's well taken care of, leads and customers are guaranteed. And also I wanted to add that it's very funny, but it's very real, that top leadership is becoming bigger and bigger every day. And people love to see now personal brands in a world where, with the advancements of technologies, we are flooded with all of this imagery, with too much replication of content. So we see the same content over or over away again, sorry. So we see like the replica of the replica of the replica. So that is the reason why people value and appreciate more authenticity and originality. If you go on LinkedIn and you find the CEO of one of the hottest startups right now, you don't want to see the numbers. Okay, that is important for the authority, but you want to see how this person thinks. What does he or she has to say? Because you look up to those people, you admire them, you want to be as successful as they are. So that's why, like you were saying before, personalization is huge right now. Like the pursuit
Yeah,
of authenticity.
correct. Uh, Again, digital marketing, it's obviously there and it's there to be used, especially after COVID. It became for B2B a, a real need to become really good at digital marketing. So companies should embrace digital marketing and start pursuing business, creating valuable information, helpful information that will guide your customers through not only that, but the customers, by you providing obviously this helpful content and giving out some of your secrets or secret sauce or whatever it is. It's that people don't have time, even if they just want the information and they just want to feel like, okay, this person is the one because they possess the right mindset to take care of my company, of my needs, not because they're gonna use that information for the and apply it themselves, because it's like you telling, like if it's a surgeon will be to tell you, okay, here's how you do a heart procedure. Obviously you're not gonna do it, because but
Exactly.
at least you understanding and how it works, that information, it's helpful.
Exactly.
But yeah, as experts, and you giving out that information, it only makes you more credible. It creates that trust, and people will start reaching out to you because of that trust and all that kind of things that you have, which is obviously of your intellect. I'm not saying, hey, pour out every single step, but at least give a really good glimpse of something of value that people can take away and have actionable items to do. And probably once they try doing it, they're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna need this guy because he knows what he's talking about. And at least you got them to that first step. So B2B, it's all about creating resonance. It's about creating value, and how you create value is just helping people.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we hear that term value, 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 and I think it's being overused,
Overused.
and there's no real like meaning behind it, and it's help. Like, how can you
Yes.
be helpful? And at the end of the day, that's what you have to provide: helpful content. Use the best tools there in marketing. If you don't want to be part of the bunch or of a crowd, then step aside and use different formats that might be innovative for that particular field. And that's where you're going to trigger and reap rewards with time. Again, it's not going to
Yes.
happen overnight. You need consistency and you need time.
Yes.
So as a conclusion, I don't think B2B content is dead, sorry. I think it just needs to be re-engineered, or pretty much resurfaced with a different
Approach.
mind or approach or twist, a different mindset. It just needs to be configured strategically to appeal to the needs of your customer. And again,
Exactly.
it's customer being having that customer centricity. They don't want to be sold, um, because nobody likes to be sold. They would like to learn more about the product, but from their needs, not from the
Exactly.
features it has.
Because
So
even
that's the
even if they
approach.
don't want, even if they don't want to be sold, they want to buy.
Yeah,
It's the
absolutely.
it's always the how, the process, the approach. And I just remember the other day, a colleague asked me if I was afraid of the rise of AI technology because okay, maybe it's going to replace your job. And my answer is no, because as you were saying before, a seasoned marketer, a seasoned decision maker, can tell when a content is created by a computer. And even given the case that technology advances so much that it becomes hard to tell the difference, people by then are going to start to appreciate the human factor. And now, because everything that the world has been going through, people appreciate the human factor even more. I remember back in the day when the VHS movies or DVD movies became such a hit, it was because people bought those for the behind the scenes, the bonus features, the bloopers. Why? Because people wanted to be that the actors were real human people that made mistakes, that laugh during a scene, that trip on their toes. So all of that, and I think that is one, and that is also one of the reasons that we do this show in a non-linear or non-too scripted way, because we want to highlight that human side always, and that some businesses are lacking, and that is part of our vision and what we want to see in their business, to create more humane businesses.
Correct. I think just to add up as a final touch to what you just said is pretty much humanization of of the brand. It's
Yes.
critical for the success. And there's nothing more human, and especially this type of format, video, it's superhuman because you see us talk, you see us have emotions, you see us blink, like we're here. Even though when you might see this, it's either live or recorded, but it's human flesh. It's not some text right there with just words and no emotion. There's two people here talking and
Yes.
having a real human conversation. So it's about really creating a human experience for humans. And I know it sounds redundant, it sounds dumb, but a lot of companies tend to forget that they deal with
Absolutely.
humans.
Absolutely. Okay, Juan, thank you so much as always. And thanks to all of our audience. Thanks for being here. Hope we answered some of the questions. And if you have any more, please let us know in the comments. And subscribe, share with your friends, and stay tuned next week for the next episode of the Customer XP Crew. Bye bye.
Bye bye. See you then.